Hello and welcome to the game that is going to accompany us for the next few, I guess, weeks. I'm not sure if it's going to be Fridays or Saturdays though. So yeah, today we're going to start Let's Playing Planetbase, a game that I have bought on GOG during one of these summer, I think it was summer sale. It is a real-time city building management game, and I do quite like it. It's somewhat small, so you don't have like as much variety as you had in, for example, Banished. And it also has a bit of a military component to it. Not too much, but it has a military component, so it might be. I don't know if it's better for the strategy Saturday or for the casual Friday. I do have another very promising candidate for that though. I was actually going to record Tutorial because they did a patch and a beta, and I read about that last Thursday, right after I recorded Tutorial, and so I guess I'm going to upload this episode now, and because I can't get Tutorial to run with the new version. Anyway, there's a few things we can do here. You can view the credits, which we won't. The game has been made by Madruga Games, who have kindly allowed me to let's play it. You can change the background planet, which is kind of cool. I mean, all of those look pretty nice. Especially this one, I don't know why. I really like it. We can have challenges, which is a thing I actually only discovered when I clicked random stuff for the test recordings. So yeah, apparently we can do challenges. I'm not sure what those do. We might have a look at those at some point. For now, however, we're going to also have your settings, you have your achievements. Of course, there are achievements. I thought I had at least one of those already, but I might be mistaken here because there are achievements and there are milestones. We're not going to do the tutorials. I don't feel like doing those. So we're going to hit a new game. We're going to play the easy planets here. And each planet has milestones. You need to unlock those to get to the next planet. So yeah, they're getting increasingly hard, and I'm going to show you the first two ones here. So this is a Class D planet, which has a fixed CO2 atmosphere, which will protect it from meteors and solar flares. Meteors are quite self-explanatory, and they suck. And also each planet has characteristics regarding the light amount and the atmosphere. Obviously you need a decently thick atmosphere for wind turbines, and you need a good amount of light for solar panels to work properly. You have your environmental hazards, which are always meteors, and you have your sandstorms. Or in the, for example, in this case, you have your blizzards. No sandstorms because there is apparently no sand here. Yeah, so this planet, for example, has less light, so you will gain less power from solar panels, and you might have to rely more on wind turbines. I'm not sure what those are because I haven't unlocked them yet, but we're going to play this one because I haven't touched this for a while. And yeah, you can also pick your location. I do believe it makes a bit of a difference, but I think this view makes it very hard to find like a desirable location, so we'll just rename the base here, because base D94 sounds a bit boring. We'll call it the space base, and I'm going to close my eyes and then just whirl the mouse around like this. So round and round and round goes. There we go. This is going to be our location. We'll just start the game here. We're at 8 degrees north and 77 degrees west. I wonder if you can go 0, 0. I think you can. I think it's actually a nice place to build a base. I have not yet managed to build a completely self-sustaining base. Like in Banished, I think we could safely say that there was not too much that could go wrong at that point. In this game, you have to be quick. You have to be very quick. I actually recorded one episode which totally failed because I was too slow. So first thing you want to do, and then I'll get into all the introductory stuff. So this is obviously our colony ship. It has our, I think, 7 colonists. Those 3 guys are workers, and those 2 with the green suits, I'm not sure if you can see it in the video, I believe biologists. Those two guys here are... Not sure, what are you? A medic and an engineer. So those are the building guys. Okay, this is all nice and dandy. This is our colony ship. We can click this and it shows us all the resources we have. We have medical supplies, we have spare parts, which are used for those two robots here. We have a carrier and a constructor bot. I'm going to get into those later. We have food, we have bioplastics, and we have metal. Now, we want to get this... we want to be very, very quick about this. So I want to have this over there. I'm not sure if it can be turned any way. So I hope this will sort itself out. So we want this, we want that. We can actually deal with the small one for now. And then we want to link those up. And as I said, you want to be quick about this because you need oxygen as quickly as humanly possible. We also need a solar panel. We'll go with the medium one here. It will sap some of our metal, but we need it. Link that up as well. We want to keep people busy for now. We also want a power collector. The medium one will do for now, I hope. Also link that up. Things have to be linked up to your entire grid, and it also pays off to have several ways for your grid and for your stuff to flow. And we'll want a water extractor on this side. Yeah, I think that'll be a good idea. Again, link it up. We can also have a water collector, so the power collector is basically a giant battery, because this is kind of timed. What we want to do is we want to get this thing up as soon as possible, so we can get oxygen. And because we need oxygen to keep our people alive, they don't have any oxygen in this, and their suits only last them that long. And once people are down enough on their stats, they will stop working. So it is completely possible to mess up your colony right off the get-go. Also, because we currently only have a solar panel, we need this humongous battery, which needs to be linked up first. But now this will store energy, because there is always a night time, which, as you may guess, means you will make very, very little in terms of oxygen. Also, we got this going now, so we can build more stuff now. I do want a storage right over here. I find storages make pretty good hub areas. They're also well placed near the exit of your base, because that's where you're going to do all the trading. Although I suppose we'll expand on that later on. Some of those rooms can only be put into the can only have one connection, so you can surround a trading storage room with everything you want. Things like a dormitory or the sick bay can only have one connection. It is signified by this little T in the tooltip there. Okay, yeah, we can also dismantle the colony ship for a few additional resources. What I want right now is I want to get the basic supplies done. So we want a biodome. Biodomes also are decent hub areas. And we'll go with the... I think we'll go with the medium one for now. I like the medium size as a starter. The small, I think, is sometimes a bit too small. It's very, very limiting. But the big ones are too big. They're too consuming. Also, something I would like to get done as soon as possible is a mine, which needs to be on the mountain. And I just want this to be done. I don't want people to actually mine in there. I just want it to be done. Also, it's nice to see that those... oh yeah, your power grid itself also consumes energy, which is, I think, a nice addition. So the more things you have, the higher your base, or your baseline of power usage is. Also, as you can probably see here, that's why you definitely want bots. Bots are very, very quick at the more manual tasks, like constructing things. And they're very good at carrying stuff. You can see here the worker is not as not even half as quick as a robot when he has a crate. So that's one of your main reasons to keep those guys alive. Also, every building you build adds to your starts out with 0 oxygen. So it has to be filled, and then oxygen just flows from here to those buildings. Which means we actually want an oxygen generator every few rooms. So if only this one produces oxygen, and we have a humongous snake of rooms all the way over here, then these rooms will have no oxygen, and they will just be death traps. Okay, there's a few more things we can look at now. And as you can see here, now this is blinking, and we are losing power. On the bright side, that's not a big deal because we still have plenty of it. And we actually want to expand on that because this one power collector is not going to last us very long. And you can also go with wind power. As you can see here, we currently have very strong winds, so a wind turbine would do quite well. Okay, what I want to do now is actually want to shut this down. So this does not need to be used right now. I just want to have the mine ready for when I do need it. Okay, so this is a storage room. I think stuff needs to be stored away soon, or rather soon. Okay, we need a canteen. We currently have meals, and we can go with the big canteen because that's going to last us for quite a while. I think we also have the stuff for that. Actually, we can do the medium one. But there's not too much stuff we can put here, so we'll just go... There we go, small. Yeah, we can put several things here, so I'll go with a small one. Link that up, as usual. And you can see here, without this link, this room is entirely useless. I think it will start consuming power already. And yeah, so now it will start receiving oxygen. You can see it's still tinted slightly red. I believe everything under 5% oxygen is deadly. Also, you can see that it consumes oxygen from this room, and now this room has little oxygen. And then this thing starts building. That's kind of nice. Yeah, we're going to get there, and this is why you generally don't want to start with the smallest oxygen generator. There are also even bigger ones, but we can't build those yet. Also, some of those require other rooms to be built first. Okay, yeah, the airlock is low on oxygen. That is okay, but you want this oxygen to be there so your people can refresh their air. So does this produce anything? No. And this is also the point where a poorly aimed, or I say aimed, where a poorly striking meteor can mess you up. Now this now we have a biodome ready, and the biodome is useless without anything growing in it. We have a variety of plants. We do want to have I think I want to have... I want to place just something. The starchy plants are used for... okay, I'm going to look at this. Yeah, I think the starchy plants are... all the plants can be used for making, well, biopolymers. You can get the starch out of it, and then you get biopolymers out of them, which are one of your building materials, and by far the easier to get. So I guess we'll go with some rice. We can put some of those pads here. And some potatoes. I think that's a good staple diet. And some lettuce. Place some lettuce. And that's enough for now. I think that is all we need for now. There is no interior things we can put here. Or there are no interior things we can put here. There are interior decoration, or rather furnishings, that we can put in there. And now we have reached one of the milestones, which is basically we are now somewhat self-sufficient. We have we have oxygen, we have power, we have a food source in the making. I should recycle the colony chip. I will recycle it soon enough. Don't you worry about that. Okay, now do keep in mind that all of those interiors also consume power. We want at least one meal maker. This guy will keep us alive. The Mr. Lunch here. Okay, shut up, cell phone. Do shut up. Thank you. So we need this and that, and I believe a drinking fountain. Put that there. And the rest will be placed there as we go. We currently can't afford to use up too many resources. Said the guy using up a ton of resources for all sorts of madness. And something else I would like to be able to build is the landing pad. Can we afford that? We just barely have the resources for that. The landing pad allows a few things. First off, it allows landing ships to land, obviously, and it also allows you to trade, which is something I'm going to probably need. Well, let's just check something. Could I build a processing plant? Yes. Then this would be the next thing we need. Somewhere over here would be nice. All the connections take one resource, by the way. Right now I'm kind of torn between the trading thing and the processing plant. I think I'll go with the trading thing first because it allows you to get stuff quicker. Trading also has disadvantages. I want to link that to the... I could link it to both. And there are certainly advantages to doing that. The thing is, all of those links are forming your grid. So along those lines, they're basically pipes. So those allow people to traverse without going outside, which is nice. But what they're also good for is they allow air, power and water to flow between those things. So could also use another power collector, but we need more metal now. Also, I just realized something. I know I can recycle the ship. I should probably do that now. I think that gave us a bit more metal. Okay, so yeah, where was I? Right, so if one of those is, for example, if this is hit by a meteor, which it may get soon enough, first off, everybody in that thing will be killed. Secondly, the connection will be severed, so the rooms that are not directly connected to the grid anymore will be cut off their supplies, so they will not have air, they will not have power, and they will not have water. So it generally pays off to have like a backup line. For example, if we get big enough, we might try to build around all those mountains, or we just have a secondary or even a tertiary generation area. So you shouldn't always put your solar panels and power things into one place. We kind of had to now, but you shouldn't do this too often because it might get you in trouble when this one connection that connects this to the rest of the base is getting hit with a meteor, and it might very well get to. And then your entire base is off the grid and you're in trouble. The AI can also be a bit retarded at times. I'm going to say that as it is. I've lost quite a few colonies to the colonists just not doing the thing they would have needed to do. Also, I think our colonists are getting dehydrated, which is something we can fix. Also, how much water are we producing? We're still doing fine on the water. We could build a water collector. I don't want to build one though. I think it's a resource we can safely spare. Okay, landing permissions. Those are useful because they allow us to make money, and they will allow us to gain more people. What's more important though is that we need to get those sorted. I think the landing permissions were somewhere over here. Stats, milestones. We can look at the milestones here. So we have reached survival. Survive for 1 day. Okay, we'll have to make a processing plant very soon. For now, I want to see my landing permissions. So those are basically the jobs that you want in the base. Right now we mostly need colonists, we need traders, and we need a lot of workers. And that's something I wanted to point out here. Another reason you want robots soon is that mining is an inherently dangerous task, and while your robots don't care about being hurt, if it hits your miners, they will be out of commission for quite a while. And that just plainly sucks. Also, note that these things will deteriorate over time if they're left outside. So you don't want it to be stuck out there for too long. Okay, this trader has nothing I really need. I would like this drilling bot, because a drilling bot will get you a lot of minerals. Okay, we have 14 iron, or 14 metal rather. That is a good amount. And right now I'm not going to trade anything with this guy. I think we're still fine. Okay, now we want to actually do this, and we want to check on the meal maker. The meal maker needs either 2 vegetables or 2 meat, or one of each, to make a meal. But for now we need more stuff to be made. So first off, I want to have a processing plant. We want to put that over here. If we can squeeze it in just there. We'll make the smallest one possible, because we only really need 2 things in it. We need a plastic processor and we need a mining metal processor. Once this is built, we will get to the dormitory, so our people can relax, and then we might actually need another oxygen generator. And from there on we get to this kind of cascade of, we need this to get the base going, and we need more of this to get the base going. Because at some point I think each of those can essentially supply like 8 people or 10 people. I kind of forgot. So oxygen, I think it was somewhere, it's kind of a baseline, so you can essentially tell how many people you can supply without needing more of those oxygen generators. And you will notice that when you reach a certain point, your people will get slower, and they will and once you have too many people in the room for the oxygen generators to keep it up, then the oxygen in your base will degrade, and you can actually, I think you can send people outside. Can I? At least I thought you could. I might have done so. Or it's just if they pick something up here. Okay, how much stuff does this thing still need? 1 of each. Also, are people getting tired? That is not something that will kill them. If they grow too tired, they will just lay flat on the floor and have a nap. That's another advantage of robots. They don't grow tired. What they will do, however, is they will get damaged. So you can see here the condition. This is kind of a short-time health. This can be fixed by an engineer. And over time they will, however, lose integrity. That's nothing you can restore at all. And once they're at 0 integrity, they will just have to be recycled. You can get some scrap out of them. But overall, it's just a thing that happens, and you really don't want it to happen, but it does happen. We also want another airlock at some point, because those are choke points. So once you get a lot of traffic into or out of your base, you'll probably want another airlock. Just to, for example, if you want to trade a lot of things, then every colonist has to go in and outside, and this creates a massive traffic jam. Also, yeah, this storage unit here will probably last us for a while. I just like to have those as close to the airlocks as possible, because you don't want to have to haul your stuff over all the base. There we go, we have a processing plant now. Once this is linked up, and I wish you could do this earlier, but once this is linked up, we'll build 1 of each processing unit. I think this is, yeah, this might be all we can afford for now. This is just a small processing plant, so there's not too much we'll gain out of this. we can only place 2 of each, or one, yeah, 2 different things here, and you can see that there's not too much variety in there. The game is, I think, kept intentionally simple because it's not like Banish where you're kind of encouraged to get all the resources. It's more this, you want to get more colonists and you want to get those milestones so you can get to the next planet. Which, by the way, requires you to end your game, so there's no way of trading with this colony or anything, so at least not directly. You cannot use this colony in any way to boost your next one. Okay, we now have a Bioplastic Processor, which means we can also now use those vegetables, which can be turned into... oh no, the rice pad is doing that. So each of those pads needs the attention of a scientist, and it will produce 1 starch and 2 vegetables. The starch goes into the Bioplastic Processor, which will require a worker, and I don't think this can use a bot. So yeah, this needs a worker, and this can be used by both workers and bots. As I mentioned earlier, bots are superior for that because they can just handle it. Also, all your structures do deteriorate over time, and I think they do so much quicker in a sandstorm. So that's just something to keep in mind. Also, we want to expand the base now. I don't want to expand this way because I like to have this huge flat area, so I can get a sprawling base and I can do a lot of circling. So I can have redundant grid bits, which means that we are less susceptible to meteor strikes and everything that's trying to kill us out there. We don't need many of those things just yet. The factory, for example, is something we'll not build for a while. We do need a dormitory and a sick bay though. Those are quite essential. The lab is not as useful yet because we don't have any medical herbs yet. I couldn't make them, but I would like to get some other things sorted first. Also, how's that doing? Okay, we're still making energy during the day. As you can see, our grid consumption has increased a bit. Quite a fair bit, to be honest. So we do probably need another of those. We might also want to get another of or we might actually want to get a water collector at some point, because as you can see, the water production each day also fluctuates. I think it's better during the night, and obviously less good during the day. So if you have more oxygen collectors or generators, you might very well run out of water during the peak hours. Okay, now, can I get a second line of things over here? Probably not. I want to get at least the base going in this episode, so we'll probably just throw in a dorm over here. How much stuff do I have? I wish I could see my metal storage over here too. Can I see that anywhere? I think it's somewhere in the base management. Stats? Yeah. So we still have 9 metal. Metal is always a bit more limiting than the bioplastics because you have to mine it, and mining is dangerous. And before you actually go mining, you should have a sick bay going. So put the sick bay right over here. Can I put it in there? That was there it goes. We want to have a sick bay over there. And it doesn't have to be... Can you actually make it bigger? You can make it bigger, but we don't want it bigger. We don't need a bigger one. We shouldn't get that many people sick at the moment. We link that to here. The sick bay can only have 1 connection. And then we'll want a dorm. Now the dorm could be bigger. Also, the dorm is one of those oxygen choke points that I've mentioned earlier. The dorm can really mess it up. We'll just put it over there, I guess. Link it. And I could now also link those. I can't link those, sadly. I would like to do that though, because then we wouldn't be too dependent on this connection. We'd still depend on this one, so if this place is hit by a meteor, which you can't influence, Well, I think there is later on. There is a can place a laser turret that. There's no risk of thunderstorms, but you can actually the telescope, and then you can build those meteor lasers here, or anti-meteor lasers, which will allow you to shoot down meteors. However, they have a limited range, so it requires quite a lot. They also require a lot of power, I think. I've already had one base that was able to build them and sustain them for a short time, not a very long time. I also like how those stones disappear when you build something near them. The mountains don't. You can't flatten the area, which is a bit of a bummer. So you're kind of forced to work around the terrain, and this here is like one of the most problematic bits in the game, especially early on, where you don't have these redundant generation units. Look at that meteor, it was awfully close. And yeah, I mean, if I had a base that was expanding all into this little, actually quite a big plane, and I had another power generator here and another water and oxygen and everything generator there, I wouldn't be too worried about it, because then this bit here could be hit and I could just go in and have it fixed. I'm also not sure if, for example, if this connection dies, if I would be forced to rely on everybody who's currently outside, and or if those people could just go outside and fix it on their own as well. Okay, what are you low on? Come on. You're low on. I think they're all just tired. I think they're all just really tired. Okay. By the way, if you don't have a sick bay, you might actually run into a snag as well, which is something that happened to me before, because I had miners there. Also, your sick bay is kind of useless without beds, so built those as well. So all my miners, which are basically your workers, okay, you need one of those. And I replace, I think, 1 or 2 beds, and that's it. I mean, we do technically now have the bioplastics we need. So this is not too much of a deal. Okay, I want to go back here. And there's not too much research you can do, so you don't unlock much more furniture and more stuff. This, you essentially start out with almost everything you need. And the game kind of holds your hand by letting you build, for example, this only after you build the canteen, and the factory only after you build the processing plant, which is perfectly sensible to me. But aside of that, it's not doing too much against it. It's not controlling you too hard. You can do most of the stuff you need. And that was too close for comfort. Seriously. That was too close. Obviously in Dorm you need beds. I think if you place them carefully you can get more bang for your buck, or more bad for your buck, I guess. And we currently only have 7 people, so we don't really need more than 4 beds, I believe. Yeah, I don't think more than 4 is necessary. Okay, so I think this actually goes 1 for 1. And also it needs to be operated by a worker, which is this fellow here, who is kinda unhappy. This will probably get sorted soon or later. We probably can afford to put a video screen over here now. I think this section is not going to lead anywhere, so we'll just place a screen there. And maybe even a plant. You can have a plant over there. And we might want to do another table at some point, but for now, this is all we need. The food generator will make food on demand, I think. And our power source is low, so we might need another of those soon. Okay, for now we just want to get those beds done, and once everything is built, I mean this is ready, so we can technically start the mine now. Okay, go ahead, mine. The power source should be increasing now, because this should get going. If your power runs out completely, your base will shut down, which means you will have to shut down all your or everything will shut down on its own, and you can actually, I think you can determine which or what goes down first. You can also disable all non-vital structures at once in the grid menu here, which is kind of nice because it saves you a lot of clicking. And in this case, speed is of the essence. It is of utmost importance to do it quick when you actually have to fix something and sort something out. Also, you can see that people are not really taking to those bats. They're not using them at all. Also, this does need to be in a... Alright, I think you can actually connect an exterior structure there. So I could connect a thing to it. I could connect a generator to it, but I can't put more rooms to that one. Okay, I think that's all for this base game explanation that I felt like doing in this first episode. As you can see here, this is the choke point. We're not getting anywhere here, we're getting a bit in trouble there. And there is a miner, or not. Okay, that's a carrier bot. Those do nothing else but carrying. And this bot here is low on health. So he needs an engineer, which I think is this guy. Yeah, he's an engineer, and he is going to fix this robot. There we go, the airlock is, as I said, a bit of a slow point. And he's going to the construction bot and fixing him. I'm liking this so far. And I've played a bit of this game before. I've had some pretty decent bases which all dropped at some point because they were just collapsing. Something bad happened, or I just forgot to make another oxygen generator, and from there on it went downhill. By the way, the oxygen generator is the next thing we want to build over here. So we want to place another one there, and probably need a water thing here too. So we'll start with that. Yeah, I like how this no, not an extractor. I want to have a water collector. That's those guys here. The water tank. Lovely things. Can actually put it there. It doesn't matter where it is. The water will transport itself, and it also doesn't make a difference in power, I believe. So it doesn't matter if your pumps would have to transport it to here or to here. However, I do like to have it... I mean, this is actually a bad move, because this will mean that if a meteor hits that, our power is down completely. If I build, for example, a water tower over here, which I will now, and we'll connect it to this, and this thing is hit, my base can still draw from the water tank. And I'm not down completely on resources. Okay, there's our video screen, and I think that's all for now. And as you can see here, our worker is already injured. So he has trauma injuries. I think there are a few different kinds of injuries. Most frequent are traumas, though, because of the mine. Do we have minerals yet? No. Oh, ores, I believe. I think that's ores. Yeah. So, this is... ooh, we have a trader. He has ores, which I could use. I don't want to sell anything we have, though, because all this stuff is valuable. At some point, I usually end up selling vegetables. But right now, we don't have too many of those. And that's why I do want to hold on to them as long as possible. Anyway, I think that's a reasonably good first episode. I think it was way too long anyway.